What's up, everybody? Triple Force here with the second episode of Triple Play, and this one is featuring Torchlight 2, which I've been waiting a long time for. I know a lot of other people have as well. We're going to take a quick look. Torchlight 2 is developed by Runic Games. Runic Games, of course, the big news with them is that a couple of the developers on there were co-founders of Blizzard North, who are famous for the Diablo series with Blizzard. Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 and the Lord of Destruction expansion pack. Big games. Diablo 2 widely considered to be the best action RPG ever. And those guys also worked on a game called Mythos, which you may or may not have heard about, an ARPG. They worked on Torchlight 1, and now we have the sequel, Torchlight 2, which everybody's been waiting for. And they've added a lot of features that were asked for in Part 1. Part 2's got them and more, so let's check it out. So first you see this Runic login thing here. I just want to explain that real quick. You can set up an account on Runic Games webpage. And once you do, you can link your Steam friends and all that, and you've got a friend list, and you can go online and you can get together with friends. So that's pretty cool. So they're promoting the online play there, but you can also play offline. What we're going to do is we're going to start a new game for this one. I have played a couple other games, so we'll go ahead and start the new game up. And we'll take a look at the classes. So we've got 4 classes, male and female versions. We've got the Berserker, the Ember Mage, the Engineer, and we've got the Outlander. So each one is, has their own unique skills and abilities. I won't go into them too much, but basically, you've got a, ranged magic user, but you can set things up, however you like in the game. You'll see how the skills work. I'll try and go through some of the trees. The Berserker, melee, uses beast magic. Engineer, if you're into the whole steampunk vibe, the Engineer seems to be a pretty popular class in games right now. And so they've got that for you in Torchlight 2. And then we've got the Outlander, who, as you can see, is dual-wielding pistols and can use magic, so it's pretty awesome. So right off the bat, let's just go ahead and make some comparisons, because I know the question on everybody's mind is, how does this compare to Diablo 3? Being that, some of the developers on this game worked on Diablo 2 and the Diablo series. Also, the music in this game is composed by the original composer for the Diablo series prior to Diablo 3 at Blizzard. Matt Wellman, I believe is his name. So great music, great vibe. But yeah, so how does it compare to Diablo 3? So let's go ahead and make some quick comparisons. First off, you can customize characters. There isn't a whole lot of customization available, but you can go through different looks and different hair colors for each gender. Nothing crazy, just face, hair color. But it's pretty fun to have that option, and that's pretty great. So that's the first comparison. You don't really get too much customization with the characters in Diablo 3, but in this you get a little bit more, so that's kind of cool. Again, not a lot, but it's still pretty neat. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a Berserker for this run through, and then you'll see something else. I'll show you there. I'm just going to name him Triple. And so you get pets. So that the second comparison I'm going to make, and is going to be that pets differ from the companions that you get in Diablo 3. You get to choose between a variety, as you can see here, and they're all pretty cool. I don't think it matters too much what you choose. This is just really just kind of appearance based. As far as I know, I don't think there's any huge difference in stats wise, and you'll be able to customize them a little more in game. So for this Outlander, I think I'm going to go with we're going to go with a wolf. And you can alter their appearance a little bit as well. Each one has a few different looks that you can choose from. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with this wolf here, and we're gonna name him. Let's see, what do we got? How about yeah, ally. We're gonna name him Maxwell. Sure, just for this run through. All right, so next comparison, and just to be clear, I don't really think that you can really, you know, I'm not trying to say this game is better than Diablo or that Diablo 3 is better than this game, but I do want to point out the similarities and the differences. You know, mostly the stuff that I think is a little bit cooler in Torchlight 2, you know, and a little bit more interesting than it's handled in Diablo 3. So the next comparison I want to make is difficulty. Difficulty. So right from the beginning of the game, you can choose between the four different difficulty levels. Diablo 3, you were kind of locked into the first difficulty level. You had to run through that, and after you beat that difficulty, you can get to the next stage, and the one after that, and the one after that. And then, you know, they're named a little bit differently in Diablo. There's, I think it's like Normal, Nightmare, Hell, and Inferno. So the Elite is the equivalent of Inferno in Diablo 3. But really cool, you can just go right to Elite if you want, right from the beginning of the game. So that's a nice touch. And then just like Diablo 3, we've also got the Hardcore mode. Hardcore mode basically means that when your character dies, that's it. It's permanent. You have to start a new character over. So it's pretty hardcore. Only for the brave, it says. So if you're into hardcore, you've got that there. And so we're gonna choose for this one. We're gonna choose normal. And next comparison, real quick. Single player internet LAN. You can see you've got a choice here. Diablo 3 didn't really have a choice. You were connected to the internet at all times. So that was something that was controversial. A lot of people didn't like that. Torchlight 2 gives you a choice. You can play single player offline, you can play on the internet with friends, or you can do LAN with friends. So that's a really cool thing to have. It's nice to have those options, and that's really great. So we're going to do single player, and it's going to load up. And the first thing you're going to notice is that you're going to get a cinematic sequence here. And the cinematic sequences, interestingly enough, were produced by Play Entertainment.
Torchlight, a darkness gathered.
And I'm not going to show the whole thing, but I am going to show a little bit just so you can kind of get an idea.
Called Ordrock.
And Clay Entertainment, of course, is known for their games Eats, Shank 2, and their newest game is Mark of the Ninja, which looks pretty cool. I played Shank, I enjoyed it. So it's good stuff. These guys are pretty good at what they do, and I like their you know, the animated style. So this is just an example of what they do. So yeah, the cinematic sequences in Torchlight 2 are produced by the guys over at Clear Entertainment. So pretty cool stuff. I'll let you guys check the rest out if you decide to play the game, which you should, because it's awesome, and I'll show you that now. So here we are at the starter area of Torchlight 2, and you know, basic action RPG stuff. You click to move, click on stuff to attack. You've got your hotbar abilities, and you can put items and potions and things like that. So you'll notice right away. Check this out.
State your business.
So they don't have voiceover for all the text, which is a bit different from Diablo 2, of course, and Diablo 3. Blizzard really, you know, putting a lot into the VO. This game just kind of has catchphrases for most NPCs, and then you can kind of read the rest if you want to get an idea of the lore. Not a big deal, but definitely something that Diablo has over it. However, for the story stuff,
I think this is as far as I can go.
you get full VO.
You should carry on to the Asterian Enclave, but you're on your own.
Which is nice.
Warn them that the alchemist destroyed Torchlight.
And so you
is
see
headed their
here
way.
we've got the
He may be there already.
quest accept screen, and then you've got your description, the title, rewards, gold, XP, and then your loot and your choices when you complete this quest. What's really cool about the loot is you'll see here there's a couple ways to you know, there's a couple things that factor into whether or not you can use them. So of course you've got the comparison there to what you're currently equipped with, but on the tooltip, you see that you can either be level 2 to equip that hasty notched axe, or you can have 21 strength as a stat. So that's pretty cool. So you kind of do have options or whatever. You don't just have to be a certain level or have to have stats. It's either or, so that's nice. It's a nice touch. So we'll accept that quest.
You have received a quest.
We'll keep moving. Your quests show up on the right-hand side here. You can toggle that. You've got your mini-map up top. You can toggle the mini-map by pressing M and go through different positions on the screen. The UI's, the UI works well. Combat, it's just like any other ARPG. Just click and the character will perform their melee attacks or ranged attacks if they use ranged weapons or if you have them equipped. Cool thing about Torchlight 2 is you can equip a bunch of different weapons. It all just really depends on your stats and what's available to you. You can build your character however you like. I'll try and show some of that as we move on. Get into some more combat and I'll just keep moving. So you can see the UI. You got your health on the bottom left. You can also see under the globe there's a Z, and then you've got your mana on the bottom right. There's an X. So you can press Z or X to use your best health potion, or you can, assign those to your action bar. If you like to use specific ones. So your items or your skills, and that's how the action bar works. You also see that thing in the middle of the screen there. Just leveled up. So yeah, you level up just like other ARPGs. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, so we've got this here, and this is the Berserker's unique charge bar. Every class has a sort of a charge bar, a unique resource. And, the Berserker is, when he attacks enemies, he builds charge, and then when he reaches full charge, he basically goes berserk. He goes into a frenzy and he crits a lot, which is a pretty useful ability. So let's see what else here. I leveled up, so let's just get into the character panel screen real quick. 4 stats, as you can see. You've got your fame level. It's not really sure what fame does yet. It seems like it might be rep or something like that. Health, MP, your stat points. So in this game, much like other ARPGs, but unlike Diablo 3, which is another comparison I'll make, you can customize your character stats. So you can put points into strength, dexterity, focus, or vitality. Each one does something a little bit different. Strength is for weapon damage and bonus damage on critical strikes. Dexterity is for crit and dodge. Focus is for magic damage, and vitalities for health and armor and chance to block. Now, dexterity and focus each have another. They both have another utility, and for dexterity, besides critical strike and dodge, you also get something that you also get a stat that increases your fumble recovery. So in Torchlight 2, you can fumble attacks. And when you fumble an attack, your attack will do less damage. It kind of reminds me of glancing blows from other games. So yeah, you fumble the attack, and if you have high dexterity, you have a greater chance of recovering from that fumble and reducing the damage penalty that that fumbled attack would have gotten. So you'll do more damage. And then focus. The extra stat on that is something called execute or execute chance. And that basically increases your chance to execute. And what execute is in Torchlight 2, it's basically if you're wielding 2 similar weapons in both hands. So if you've got 2 daggers or 2 fist weapons, execute chance will increase your chance to strike with both of those weapons at the same time, which increases your damage. So that's pretty awesome. So the Berserker uses, I like to dual wield on the Berserker, but we're going to do a little bit of strength, a little bit of crit, and then some focus. And that's how I'm going to roll with him. And you can see that you can take back some of those points before you close this. But once you close the panel, that's it. You're committed to those stat points. So let's move on a little bit. And I'm going to work my way up towards There's that waypoint there on the mini-map. You can see, it tells me where to go, so that's cool. And I believe it does handle multiple waypoints, so you can see more than one quest waypoint at a time, so that's cool. Looks like we're gonna have to go around. So here's a locked golden chest, and some maps will have these chests, and you have to find a key for them. Oh, and there I found it. So when you find a golden key, it'll show up there under the map, and you can go to the locked golden chest, open that up, and get a bunch of gold, which is great. So I got a socketable item and a magic item. I'll show you what those things do. So magic item, it's enchanted. Basically, it has some extra stats. So this gives me +2 critical hit chance. And there are a bunch of things that you'll see on magic items, increased damage and all that. If you're familiar with other action RPGs, then you know how that works. And then this is the socketable item. It's a Spark Ember Spec. It's basically gems like in Diablo 3 or other action RPGs. You just take it, drop it on there, and now I've got +7 electric damage on this axe, so that's great. And then to identify stuff, unlike Diablo 3, this uses identify scrolls, and when you see the tooltip there, when you kind of put your cursor over it, you'll see the tooltip, and it'll tell you how many identify scrolls you have right in the tooltip, so that's pretty cool. So like I said, it's different from Diablo 3. Diablo 3 just kind of lets you identify stuff, without any scrolls or anything like that, so you don't need to worry about having that resource. And same thing goes for teleporting back to town. Torchlight 2 uses waypoint portal scrolls, so you do have to manage that, their consumables. So it's just a different play style. It is kind of interesting to have to make sure that you've got some left and you're paying attention and that you're prepared when you're in dungeons and things like that. So I don't prefer one or the other. I don't think it's better here or worse in Diablo, or better in Diablo or worse here. It's just different. And the reason why it really doesn't matter in Torchlight 2 is if you take a look at the inventory, there's 3 sections. So I don't even have to worry about my waypoint scrolls and my identify scrolls being in the same inventory as my items and taking up space. Everything has been kind of brought down to just one space, so you don't have to worry about managing your inventory. You can just loot stuff. It's great. I love it. It's a loot-based game. I don't want to have to worry too much about managing inventory. There's still some inventory management, but it's not too crazy. So you've got 3 categories: equipment, consumables, spells. Spells are really cool. They add extra abilities to your character when you find them. You can equip them. You can equip up to 4, and they could be passive abilities or active, and they just really add some more flavor to your character and more customization. So it's really cool. So here's a pet item. So I'm gonna shift click. My pet's gonna equip that collar, and now I'll have 9 more physical armor, and there's a bunch of other collars you can get. You can equip 2 pet tag slots and all that, and then as you can see, your pet also has its own inventory, so you've got plenty of inventory space. You can move stuff over to the pet's inventory if you can't wear it or you're not going to use it anymore, and the pet can be sent to town and sell that stuff. I'll show that later. And so they've got plenty of inventory space for you. The pet can also equip spells, and they can use those spells in battle, so that's really cool. Pretty basic, nothing too crazy, but they're pretty awesome, and they have a couple other things that they can do. I'll show you, and that's linked to the fishing system. And then this is really awesome. Pets, when you send them back to town, you can create a shopping list, and you can tell them to buy you a couple potions or a couple waypoint scrolls, and there are other items that you can choose between or choose from. So that's a really awesome feature, and that alone just makes them more awesome and more useful than companions in Diablo 3, for instance. Let's go ahead and move on. So when you get to loading screens, if you have any unspent skill points or stat points, they'll show up on the top there. That's
State
pretty
your
cool.
business.
So here's the fishing hole. Fishing is pretty basic. You get an outer circle. When it merges with the inner circle, you click it. And that's how you successfully fish. Sometimes you've got to be a little, you know, got to have some patience, just like fishing in real life. But you'll get these fish and, you know, other items from the fishing holes. And let me just show you what they do. I'll go into my consumables. And basically you can use them on your pets, most of these. And when you right click on it, your pet will transform into a monster. And you know, usually gives them some boosts in combat and things like that. So that's pretty cool as well. So you got your general goods, you can sell things. So the stuff in your pet's inventory, you can just click sell all, and they sell everything. And that's pretty cool. And as you can see, you've got an organized inventory button down there. So that's great too. Here we got your shared stash. So you can put stuff away so you can twink your other characters out. Unfortunately, you can't stash gold. So that sucks, but you know, you still get to stash a bunch of other things that your characters can use. So that's pretty cool. And then here you have your personal stash, so you can just stash things for this character in there. Right here you have your skill respecs. Skill respecs work different in Torchlight 2. Right here you can see you can only reclaim the last 3 skill points you invested. So let's just say I use this skill point here. Alright, now I've got 2 skills. And right now it says 0 gold, but as you level up and get more skills, you spend more money to remove and redo those last 3 skill points. So you can't completely respec, but you can undo the last 3 just in case you didn't like them. Torchlight 2, this, you know, the stats and the skills, they kind of really focus on you know, making choices and sticking to them. Unlike Diablo 3, where you can kind of you know, play around with, you know, your different skills and builds and things like that and really experiment. I think in this regard, I kind of enjoy being able to experiment a little bit more in Diablo 3, being able to respec and all that, and not being locked in or having to re-roll another character in order to check out another, you know, spec or something like that. I think Diablo 3 has the edge there, just because I personally prefer that over being locked into just one spec. But you know, this game can be modded, and just like in Torchlight 1, somebody released a respec mod, and I'm sure that'll be available for Torchlight 2 as well. Why they didn't just add that ability to the game, you know, with maybe like a heavy gold penalty or something like that, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, you make your choices and you got to stick to them. So I'll go ahead and pick the Shadow Burst ability, and I'm also going to grab Blood Hunger, because I really like Lifesteal, so that's really cool. And so we've got those abilities. So I've got Shadow Burst here, and then I'm going to flip to I don't have that ability anymore, so I'll just keep that on my right click. But anyways, so yeah, so that's how respecs work. So we'll go ahead and hand this quest in. And I'm going to see if I can make it to the first boss.
I thank you for your warning, but it has arrived too late. This Commander Vale...
You have become more skillful.
I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to be able to make
You
it
have a new quest.
and keep the video short enough
You a
to
new
do that.
recruit?
We'll see what I can do, though.
You have
Let me go ahead and
received
equip
a
that other
quest.
axe there. So let's go ahead and move on. I've got some unspent stat points and skill points, and I'll just use those real quick. And I'm not sure if I'm building this guy the right way, you know, but I'm just kind of doing what I like right now, so we'll see. Yeah, I like Frost Breath too. That's a pretty cool skill. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'll move these down here. Show you some abilities there. That was Frost Breath, and that you know, freezes or can immobilize, I believe. And your enemies will take more damage when you use that on them. So, and then this is really cool. I love Shadow Burst. That's what that does. It's pretty awesome for getting around quick. Go through there? No, I think I gotta go around. And the cooldown is pretty low on it, so you can just kind of keep moving, and
Safe travel.
that gives me health. That's interesting. So yeah, there's a bunch of secrets and things like that you can come across on the map. There's, you know, breakable stuff. If you see like a red flash, usually means you can break something. And that shattered message there means that I just broke through their shield. So some monsters will have shields, and kind of got to get through those first in order to do damage to them. Some skills are better at breaking shields. So as you can see, combat is pretty fluid. It's fun. It's got great sound effects. Starts out a little bit slower than Diablo 3, in my opinion, but it definitely picks up pretty quickly once you start getting more skills. I just found Tranquil Sensor. And I'm not even really sure what that does. I do see a ghostly looking treasure chest there. So, oh, and once you kill everything, the chest goes from being ghostly to solid. Cool. So, I mean, that's just an example of some of the secret stuff available in the game. So as you can see, when stuff is on the ground, loot or whatever, you can toggle the names for it on and off. So that's really nice. And another really cool feature that's in the settings is item display. So you can, this is, you know, I'll make another quick comparison here. This is something really cool in this game. You can actually shut off the tooltips on the ground for normal items or magic items and really customize the level of rarity that you see. So if you're only interested in rare items and up, you can make it so that's all you see when items drop on the ground. So that's really cool. You can also shut off breakables, consumables, or gold, so that you get a nice level of customization on here. So if all you want to see is legendary, you just kind of you know, uncheck everything else, and then you can just see the legendary. So that's really cool. So then as far as settings go too, really quick, you've got your basic settings here, nothing too fancy, but just enough, and some toggles here. Low resource verbal alert, so if you're low health, you know, or low mana, or your pet is fleeing, the game will tell you. You'll hear a voiceover. I've got bloom off, and I've got shadow detail medium, because that just helps keeps the FPS decent when I'm recording. I don't have the greatest computer ever, but it works. And then you can also redo your key bindings from this screen as well. So you know, basic settings, they work. Nothing too crazy, just enough to you know, to be functional.
I need your help.
Still better than some other recent PC releases, unfortunately. So let's see here. Leveled up, more stats, more skills.
You have become more skillful.
And golden key, and I think there was a treasure chest around here somewhere. Oh, you know what, we'll skip that. Let me just go ahead and allocate these. Just do one this time, two there, one. There we go. And then another skill, let's see here. I'm gonna go with that one. Alright, so we've got this quest, and you can go in here, and so this is a little side area where you can accomplish quests, kill some monsters, gain another level, etc. More loot. Speaking of loot, picked up a lot of it, and I don't think I bothered to equip any of it, which I probably should. So, but let's talk a little bit about you know, the way the game looks. I mean, as you can see, it's got a what some people might call a cartoony art style or whatever. People compare things to a lot of different things. WoW, whatever you want to call it. I just think it looks great. I think the art style in here is fantastic. It does a really great job of just kind of just getting the point across, and everything looks consistent and stylized. And I think it's pretty awesome. I think on the whole, characters are better realized in this game than they are in a lot of other action RPGs. So they just look cool. And if I had to choose between the looks of these characters or Diablo 3, I think I would go with these characters every time. They just look smoother, cleaner. They're animated really well, obviously. So, yeah, it's just really nice. But that's my personal preference. You might not agree. You might like something more realistic or something darker. But I think this works great for what they were trying to do with this game. The environments look good too. There are a lot of nice little effects that you can kind of take for granted. Things like that fog there. There's poison on the ground that's gonna kill me. So right here we've got an elite monster or a champion monster. You can tell by the purple HP bar. They're tougher, and you get a little fame when you beat them. So more rep or whatever. Again, I'm not really sure what fame does in this one. And I played Torchlight 1, and I can't remember what fame did there. I think it had something to do with quests, the townsfolk or whatever, but don't quote me on that. So, I'm gonna try and get through this part, see if I can get to the first boss in a decent amount of time. I'll show you that. Got another one of these ghostly chests. Cool. And I think I just got a helmet, headpiece. Let's see. Yep, looks like a bandana. Nice. And there's my frenzy. As you can see, I move faster. Get a ton of crits. Usually only lasts about 5 or 6 seconds. You can increase that time with skills and things like that. And I gotta say, the game is just really fun. If you're a fan of action RPGs, and I know I've been making a lot of Diablo 3 comparisons, but honestly, I really think if you like action RPGs, you should be able to appreciate both of these games on their own. I mean, it's just a whole lot of fun to play. So I'm gonna put one in that frenzy mastery. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place with those skills. And something I should mention too that's really cool. It doesn't have like a rune system like Diablo 3, so the skill system is different here. You can kind of go all over the place and unlock stuff or whatever, as long as you have the required level. But you can put up to 15 points into each skill, and every time you put a point in, the skill gets a little bit stronger. But also, with every 5 points, the skill will level up or increase. Go from tier 1, tier 2 to tier 3, and you get a bonus. And each skill gives you something different, has a different tier bonus. So that's a really nice touch for the different skills here, and really just kind of provides more depth in gameplay. So that's it's a pretty cool system. Again, different from Diablo 3 and other action RPGs. I've seen other action RPGs where you can continue to increase the skill level of your skills available in your trees, but I think that's the first time I've ever seen like tier bonuses, which is a nice touch. Do I think that's better or worse than Diablo 3? No, I think it's just different. I think the rune system in Diablo 3 is pretty cool, though. So it just depends on preference in the style of game. I think for this game, it works really well, the way they've got it set up. So we're going to go to the Fallen Guardian. And it's going to be like a mini boss or something like that. Oh, another little thing I forgot to mention is down here in your action bar. Let me just kill these guys. Near the bottom right of the action bar, you can see a little help question mark, and you click that. It just explains some things about the UI. So it's a nice little extra thing down there. And then up top on the top left, you can see your pet's health. And you can switch between aggressive, and he'll seek out monsters, defensive, he'll just wait for you to be attacked or for you to attack, and then be passive, where he won't attack at all. So defensive, I think, is the default there. So I've got a couple new items. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I don't have any identify stuff. So let me go ahead and send the pet back and show you how that works. So I'm going to make a little shopping list. A couple of those, a couple of those. Kill that guy. See if there's anything I want him to sell. Just transfer those. You can shift click to transfer stuff over to your pet's inventory. Switch that. And you do get a secondary weapon set. I'm not sure if Diablo 3 had the whole secondary weapon set stuff. I don't seem to remember that from that game. So that's definitely something that this game seems to have over it as well. So once you've got everything in your pet's inventory that you want to get rid of, you can go ahead and send him to town. You just hit the green send pet to town button.
Your pet has departed.
And then you'll get a time limit. After that time limit is up, your pet will return. Having sold your items, you'll get your gold, and he'll bring back those items, and they'll be in your consumables inventory. So that's really cool. And at any point in time, you can recall your pet, so that, you know, in case you need him in combat or something like that. And here's an example of switching weapons. I've got the shotgun on, shotgun with two ends, because that's how we roll in Torchlight. Put two ends and an E at the end of the shotgun. I guess that's old school spelling. Kind of medieval. So here we've got an elite undead, fallen guardian. I'm just going to switch to my other weapons. Make this fight easier. So there it is. That's the quest objective right there, and go ahead and finish up this dungeon. So my pet returned from town, sold those items for me. I should have some more identify scrolls for those magic items, those unidentified ones. Pretty fun combos on the Berserker here. So yeah, there go the identify scrolls that he got for me, and then you can see that I lost some gold because he purchased those for me and the other items. But let's go ahead and identify that. Nice. That. Cool. Alright, let's see if there's anything I can use. Two-hander. Notched axe. Let's go ahead and replace that. That one has 2 slots for gems. So, pretty cool stuff. Oh, got a nice pistol there. So, you can use pistols and dual wield. So any class can use any weapon. That's really cool. As long as you have the provided, you know, the necessary level requirement and the stats, you can use the weapon. You can totally build a gun-wielding mage. May not have a lot of synergy with some of your skills, but I mean, if that's what you want to do, Torchlight 2 lets you do it. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, I'm frenzied. All my range shots critical for 6 seconds. So that's nice. Chest, more loot, and portal to the surface. And I think I'm gonna finish this video off here. I'm gonna hand in this quest. Grab another pet tag.
You have gained
And
experience.
yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. I just want to give you guys an idea of how the game plays, what it looks like, you know, what's available to you in Torchlight 2. This is just like I said, a real quick look at the beginning of the game. But if it looks fun, definitely check it out. There's a demo on Runic Games' website. You can grab it on Steam. And I don't know, I really suggest you give it a try. If you like action RPGs, if you like Torchlight 1 at all, you're going to love this. You're not going to be disappointed. Runic Games has also mentioned that they, like Diablo 3, they will have PvP at some point. So that is confirmed. I'm not sure if it's in the game right now or not. I haven't had a chance to check that out if it is. But definitely check out Torchlight 2. It's definitely worth you know, playing, and if you enjoy it, I highly recommend purchasing it at the amazingly low price of $19.99, which is insane considering you know, what's being offered here. Every bit as good as any other action RPG ever made. Honestly, this might be, you know, a contender for, you know, best ever made. I know a lot of people love Diablo 2, but this is just so much fun, and Runic has really gone out of their way to just make a really enjoyable experience with a lot of options for how you want to play it, and really supporting the mod community. And that's going to be a big thing on the Steam Workshop. I don't know if it uses Steam Workshop or not for the mods. If it doesn't, it definitely should. They should integrate that at some point. But you know, whatever it uses, the modding community is going to be pretty great on this game, I think, and definitely deserves your attention. So, if you like what you saw at all, check out Torchlight 2. My name is Triple Force. This has been Triple Play, and we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.